The impact of Russia's propaganda efforts on public opinion in NATO member states. In recent years, tensions between Russia and NATO member countries have been high. Russia has been accused of engaging in propaganda efforts to sway public opinion in NATO member countries, especially towards the idea that one should not trust NATO. This propaganda effort has raised concerns that it could weaken the social fabric of Western democracies and lead to a shift in power dynamics. This article examines the impact of Russia's propaganda efforts on public opinion in NATO member states. Propaganda is defined as information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. Russia has been accused of engaging in a propaganda effort to create a sense of distrust between NATO member countries, which could ultimately erode the power of the Western alliance. This is especially true when it comes to the role of NATO in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, where Russia has sought to draw parallels between its aggression in Ukraine and NATO's involvement in the Balkans in the 1990s. One way that propaganda is disseminated is through the use of troll farms, which are groups of people who are paid to propagate a particular political message on social media platforms. These troll farms are often run from Russia, and they have been known to create fake social media accounts to disseminate propaganda. According to a report by the NATO Strategic Communications Center of Excellence, Russia has been using troll farms to spread propaganda in NATO member countries since the early 2010s. Another way that propaganda is disseminated is through the use of state-run media outlets such as RT, formerly Russia Today. RT has been accused of spreading propaganda by portraying NATO member countries in a negative light and by promoting conspiracy theories that seek to undermine trust in Western democracies. This has led to concerns that Russian propaganda could lead to the erosion of public trust in the Western media. The impact of Russian propaganda on public opinion in NATO member states has been significant. According to a survey conducted by the Pew Research Center in 2017, a majority of people in European NATO member states had an unfavorable view of Russia. This is likely due to the propaganda efforts of the Russian government to portray NATO as an aggressive alliance that poses a threat to the Russian Federation. The survey also found that attitudes towards NATO varied significantly across Europe. In Poland, Romania, and the Baltic states, a majority of people had a favorable view of NATO, while in Germany, France, and Italy, a majority had an unfavorable view of the alliance. This is likely due to the propaganda efforts of the Russian government, which has sought to sow the seeds of distrust between NATO member countries. The impact of Russian propaganda efforts on public opinion in the United States has been a matter of debate. While there is evidence to suggest that Russian propaganda played a role in the outcome of the 2016 U.S. presidential election, it is unclear to what extent Russian propaganda efforts have impacted public opinion on NATO. According to a survey conducted by the Chicago Council on Global Affairs in 2019, a majority of Americans viewed NATO as important for U.S. security. Despite the efforts of the Russian government to sway public opinion in NATO member countries, the alliance has remained strong. NATO has taken steps to combat Russian propaganda, such as by launching a Strategic Communications Center of Excellence in Latvia in 2014. The center's mission is to enhance NATO's ability to influence the information environment through strategic communication and information operations. NATO has also sought to expand its presence in Eastern Europe in response to Russia's annexation of Crimea and its involvement in the conflict in Ukraine. In conclusion, the impact of Russia's propaganda efforts on public opinion in NATO member states has been significant. Russian propaganda has sought to sow the seeds of distrust between NATO member countries and to create a sense that one should not trust the Western media. Despite these efforts, NATO remains a strong alliance, and its member countries have shown a commitment to defending one another against Russian aggression. In the face of Russian propaganda, it is important that NATO member countries remain vigilant and continue to work together to protect the principles of democracy and freedom.